Hey guys, project-zodiac here. I'm back with another video. As you guys can see, it's another unboxing, but it's also a in-depth product review. This is something I'm very excited for because it is something I haven't used before. It's another VR accessory. It is a charging head strap for the Quest 3. And yes, a few months ago I did unbox and review a different head strap for the Quest 3, but that wasn't a charging one, and that one was made by Kiwi Design. This is a charging one, so it's the first time I'm using a charging head strap with any VR headset I've owned before, and it's also made by a different brand called YogesVR. And I just also wanted to thank YogesVR for reaching out to me, wanting to collaborate and sponsoring this particular video. So they sent me this to unbox and review in depth for you guys. Just keep in mind, even though they are sponsoring this video, I'm going to be just 100% honest with this video and this product. Again, this is the first time I'm using a charging head strap for any VR headset that I've owned before. And it's also a different company that I've not used any of their products before. So it is something that I'm very excited and very curious to see how this is going to stack up against Kiwi Design, which, as I've mentioned before, I love. If you want to see that video, the link for that is in the description below. But with all that said, guys, this is really something I'm really excited for. Just before I forget, this particular headset is going to be coming out on February 23rd. So keep in mind, there's going to be a affiliate link in the description below where you can save 10% off your order on Amazon. So if you like the head strap and the review and you want to buy it, my affiliate link with Amazon for YogesVR and this head strap is below where you can save 10%. So with that said, again, I'm going to be super honest with this, and it is something I'm very, very excited for. So let's just go over the box here real quick. We got YogesVR logo over here. Don't know why they don't have the VR part, because that is part of their name. But I love this brown and black color scheme that they're having here. This is really cool contrast and packaging design. I love this. So that's pretty cool. It also fits like the aesthetic, like minimalistic style that the Quest has in general. So I really like that. And yeah, this black circle just makes me think of like an eclipse or a moon, and the contrast of the colors here. It's so great. I love this. This is really, really cool. So, all right. Yeah, they're already making pretty good progress here. So we've got down here, more immersion, more fun. I like that quote as well. Nothing there in the back. We got yogis over here. And then on the side, nothing. And then just a bunch of product stuff. So yeah, guys, this is something I'm really, really excited for. Sorry, I was gonna go one way explaining one thing, and then I was gonna go on another. Sorry about that. It is a company. So yeah, I think this is better for me to talk about the company first. It is a company that definitely has made some VR accessories before. Ooh, is that? Yeah, that is magnets. That's nice. That's pretty cool. And my dog is in my room, so if you hear him, I do apologize. All right, so yeah, we got the two magnet parts over here. And cool, they even give a nice coupon for their charging stand. That's pretty cool. I like that. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, what I was explaining is that they have made a couple of other VR accessories before. They got a good amount for the Quest 2, even some Halo straps for the Quest 2. For the Quest 3, again, they have not really released anything. They only have, like, I think 3 accessories for it at the moment. And all that's set to start releasing now. So this particular head strap comes out on the 23rd of February, as I mentioned. So let's see what's included in here. Okay, wow, this is heavier than what I thought it was going to be. Interesting. All right. Also, I really like this design a lot, and I like that they charge your controllers as well, which the Kiwi Design charging stand for the Quest 3, which I did unbox. If you guys want to see that, I did also review that in the unboxing. The link for that is in the description as well. But yeah, that one I noticed one thing that wasn't in the review, and I will say that towards the very, very end because I just wanted to have that documented somewhere. But yeah, the focus for this is here, but I still want to document that particular thing because it's going to be where I'm going to be seeing if this is compatible with that as well. So, all right, let's set this aside. We've got a little happy thing with some feedback. Pretty cool. Got some pamphlets over here. All right, so this is basically just the instruction guide. 7 cable tie, okay. So the product images that I saw from their website kind of had no tie on the wire, which I thought was interesting. But it seems like there should be one, a cable tie, but we'll take a look in that. Not seeing any though. Oh, it's over there, I see it. All right, nothing else. I like the packaging, it's pretty simple, pretty nice. Let me see if I'm missing anything else here. All right, so this definitely has a different design from what I've seen of other VR head straps. And of course, I got the Kiwi design one here as well so that we can compare the two. Obviously not the charging function because the charging function does not exist on the Kiwi head strap that I own. All right, so let's get this out. Okay, so this little band over here was not in the product images of their website and on Amazon. So I thought that the wire was just gonna be dangling around, and I wasn't honestly liking that, but the fact that it is included, that for me is a lot better. So as you guys can see, it is just 2 ends of USB-Cs. Not bad. You connect one on one end, the other one on your Quest. And what is very different, very different. Okay, yeah, this is insanely different. So this, as you guys can see over here, I know I'm saying that a lot, I'm sorry, that's basically going to be the catchphrase of this video. Next to Kiwi Designs, it's a lot thinner. Is it thinner? Hold on. Okay, it's not thinner. It's about the same width, but it feels thinner. And I guess the reason why it feels a lot thinner is because of the fact that it only goes through, like the padding is only halfway through it. So that's definitely different as opposed to Kiwi's Designs, which is all the way through. Again, like I said, I'm going to be very honest here. I love the Kiwi Design one. And this is a totally different product. So it serves the same function basically, but it's still different. So it is definitely something I'm definitely gonna be a little bit critical on, but still being as honest as I can. So right away, I don't know yet how it's gonna be on the head. We're gonna take a look into that later on in the video. Right now I'm just comparing it. It feels soft. It feels a little bit rougher than Kiwi Designs, but it's not bad. It definitely feels good. This part here though feels like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a leather texture, but it's very thin, almost like fake leather kind of, or like that fox leather that a lot of leather jackets use. I have a lot of leather jackets, so that's why I know that kind of texture. But I guess because of how thin it feels, that's why it feels a little on the cheaper end. And given the fact that it's so thin. And not so thin as well, but like just halfway through as opposed to Kiwi's Designs, which is longer. But one benefit in regards to this is given how thin it is, it might make it a little bit easier putting it through here because this was a pain to pull up. But I'll be explaining that when I swap them out. Now, build-wise, this honestly feels pretty durable. This aside, like this particular part, this here and this is fine. It's just, again, a little bit rougher, but it's good. It feels comfortable, so I'm not complaining about that. It's mostly just this particular part. But the plastic here, honestly, it does feel very rigid, and it feels pretty sturdy too, and there's definitely a different weight back here, so I'm definitely going to be curious to see how that's going to be on the head. And we've got a different design here for the circle. Again, I don't really know why it's the circle. I wish there was like a an indent. I even complained about this in the QE design one. This just sticks out so much, but at least over here it's a little bit smaller, so it shouldn't be as much of a pain like when I'm trying to rest my head on something, like on the wall or something like that. But yeah, so this is going to be interesting. It's definitely a little bit smaller, and this is where you can turn it on and off, I believe, but it's also where you tighten it. All right, this is the power. It does come charged. Okay, I see. So this isn't to turn it on and off. This is to like tighten it and then loosen it. Same functions, I believe. Yes, same size as the QE design one, so it's pretty cool. Sorry, my dog is just staring at me like, what was that noise? He doesn't like my tripod, so he's actually hiding out. And then when I did the crackling noise, he freaked out a little. All right, so let's see. All right, let me extend this out a bit more. This feels pretty rigid as well, the bending for it. And then you can see Yogi's here on the side, so it's not bad. Let's take a look at the headrest pad. It's a little airy. I don't know if you can hear that. It definitely has that false leather kind of feel to it, so it's not bad. This definitely, at least the false leather feels so much better here than it does over here. On this little thing. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to bash this little thing. It's just, it really throws me off because everything else here feels so good. And this does also feel pretty sturdy. There's a little bit of a bend to it, so. And I do think that this is a little bit smaller than Kiwi Designs, is it? Nope, I guess it's just because it's outside of the thing. So here's what we're gonna do real quick. I'm just gonna build this. I know that when I did the QE Designs one, I built it on camera. I just don't want this video to be so long before I actually get to my actual in-depth review of it. Right now it's just the comparison part, because the in-depth review, I do want to spend some time with this and really talk about it a lot more and all of that. But it's pretty simple assembly. It's just pegs and then holes, and then you just slide it all in place. I'm gonna start getting the QE Design one out as well and start preparing it, and then just do a quick comparison of them together. So I'll be right back. All right, so I have removed that and got my Quest here ready to do the transfer. I feel like I'm talking as if I'm doing a surgery on somebody, but I realize now why I feel like the headrest is smaller. That's because it is from the top. So you guys can see over here, the back plating is taller for QE Design. So that's interesting. Definitely gonna be interesting to see how this is gonna work out. I also noticed that this one here does not have a latch. So with QE Designs, you can move this around, which is pretty useful for when I'm taking it on and off. So that's going to be an interesting adjustment for this, because this is very rough. And again, it's not supposed to be moving. There's no hinge here. I'm just saying it definitely is rough, and that leads on to my next part, where this whole section here does, even though it definitely feels good, it is rough, sturdy, hard plastic. It does feel very rough, like rough plastic. I'm not too familiar with plastic on what is good and what isn't, but Kiwi's designs is definitely a lot smoother, and it feels a little bit like it's more easy to bend, whereas YogesVR has a little bit of just a little bit, I'd say like a 2% tighter tension within the plastic. So see, like this one just moves pretty quickly, and then this one has a little bit of sturdiness on it. So yeah, this is definitely interesting. The padding, again, I talked about. I love this padding. It's so soft and it's like a great cushion. Here the padding is definitely more airy. I don't know if you can hear that. So it's definitely a little bit more airy. It is still very soft, but you can definitely tell it's a different kind of foam than what is used over here, which is a thicker memory style kind of foam. Over here it's more of like a broader kind of foam with more air pockets. So I am curious to see now how this is going to be. So I'm just going to put this on and then we'll be right back. Okay, I got the head strap on. One other difference I had noticed is that the head strap part is connected to the actual back of the entire setup, as opposed to with Kiwi's design, which it's all connected to the back, the headrest, as you can see here. So definitely a different design overall. But yeah, this assembly though was definitely a lot easier to do than putting on Kiwi's design, given how thin this particular section is. So I do like that because that's so much easier to remove. Again, without having that bend here, it's definitely going to be interesting for me to see. I know that, you know, this is advertised that you can lift up the head strap. It doesn't really work like that. I just mostly use this for like position it a little bit easier. So this is definitely going to be a different experience for sure. Especially with how close this headrest is over here. There's definitely a lot more Velcro over here, as you guys can see over there. I'm just not sure how this is gonna go. I mean, you don't need to put it all the way over here. You can keep it right over here in the middle. But yeah, this does feel a little bit flimsy, and I do think so far that this particular part is way too close over here. I do think, well, they have it here as well, but it extends all the way out, whereas over here, given the way that it's set up, it's not, there's like this huge gap here, so it can come a little bit loose. I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to be negative on this. It's just my initial reactions. I'm going to spend a few days testing this out extensively, watching a bunch of movies. I mean, I honestly do have a lot of movies to do. There's a movie I want to watch to review here on the channel. That's going to be a very interesting movie to review here, honestly. So I'm probably going to be watching that here on my Quest. And then I also have a bunch of videos to edit and a bunch of other things to take care of. So I'll be using that, connecting my computer to my Quest to do some work that I have to do anyway. And this will definitely be helping me out because, again, 2 hours, 3 hours at the most. Sorry, there goes my dog shaking. 2-3 hours at the most with the Quest. I would need to charge it. Now, if you guys saw my Kiwi Design head strap unboxing and review, I did mention I didn't need a charging headset because of the fact that I'm not very far away from a very long USB-C. So every time I did need to charge my headset while I was using it, I just connected that long USB-C cable. However, that's why I'm saying that this is definitely going to be an interesting experience for me and something I'm very excited about, because even with that long wire, I did feel stuck a little bit because I couldn't move around as much. So there are definitely benefits of having a dedicated charging head strap for your Quest. And this is definitely something that I'm really looking forward to in how it changes my experience with the headset when I do need to charge it, because there are lots of moments. Now, this is supposed to give it about 2 to 3 hours of extra battery, and we'll go more into the specs of this a little bit later. Again, this is just the comparison and initial reactions section of the video. But yeah, so this is definitely something I'm excited for. I'm going to spend a few days working on this, and obviously this video is going to go up after the 23rd of February, but yeah, I do definitely want to give my overall in-depth thoughts on this. So this is going to be a little bit long. On top of that, what was the other thing I was going to say? I'm sorry, it's been a very long day and I've had to try to restart this video from the very beginning before I even unboxed it, like for 10 minutes straight, just because I kept screwing up the intro. It's just been a very long day. It's been a good day, just a long day. So I'm pretty tired right now. It's like, I think 11:30 or something at night. But yeah, so I do want to test this. It is something that I'm very excited for. For me, it's going to be a few days, but for you, it's going to be like in the next few seconds. But right before I go, I do definitely want to talk about this. So this is the charger. Again, in the promotional pictures, this was not included. So I thought there would be kind of a bad design because this would just be dangling all over the place, and a bunch of other charging headset VR companies have it so that the wire just goes like through some clips here directly in here. So I'm glad that this is actually included. So let me just plug this in real quick. So we got the top over there, and you can charge this directly through here as well from what I've seen. And then when needed, we could just put this in here. But let me just get this set up. All right, so I didn't do it too tight, but yeah, you can just tighten it up like that. And then when needed, just pull this down, and then is it gonna work? Yeah, I didn't even turn it on. It literally just powers on as soon as you add it. So that's pretty cool. And then it just turns off. I like that. That's good. And then I guess this you can just turn on to see how much power you have. So that's pretty cool. Let me just turn this off. Okay, it's not turning off. Interesting. Well, either way. Yep, here we go, charging. So yeah, I'm gonna spend this a few more days. Like I said, I'm definitely gonna be using this really intensively just because of the fact I do need to use my headset for the next few days anyway for a bunch of stuff. So I'm very excited for this, and I'll come back, explain how it works with the charging dock that I have as well, which is not from Yogi's, and what I think about it overall. So I'll see you guys in like 2 seconds. Alright guys, and before I go on and give my final thoughts on YogesVR's charging head strap for the Quest 3, it has been multiple days that I've had this, basically about a week now. And so yeah, I'm going to give my final overall thoughts on this, but before I do that, I just wanted to show how this would be working with Kiwi Design's charging dock. And also to address something that I did not realize when I first unboxed and reviewed this charging dock. So as I explained in that video review, and as you guys can see here, it just works. It plugs in and it starts charging due to a magnet right over here. And this is how YogesVR head strap, charging head strap will work over here. If you have a longer charging cable, such as this, well, it's not going to reach right now, but you can get it over there. And yes, this does need to be replaced, but you can definitely reach it over here. And this is how it's going to charge. You just remove this, and then this here basically just plugs in. And as you can see over there, this is just for demonstration purposes basically, but it'll keep blinking, and when it's done, all of these little dots over there will be fully charged, fully blue. So that's so that you guys can understand that. But I also wanted to address this. One thing I did not know about this dock is, unlike Kiwi Design's Quest 2 charging slab, which has the same function here of this particular, this is part of the charging head strap, but this particular thing here connects over here, and then it charges the head strap, or not the head strap, sorry, it charges the headset. Unlike Kiwi Design's charging dock for the Quest 2, when you plug this over here, it always is on. Unlike Quest 2, this light here, if you turn it off, it's still going to be charging. There's no power button, and I did not realize that, so I'm kind of doing this as a follow-up to that as well, because it is very important. You should not keep this charged on all the time. So what are you going to do then? You know, if there's no power button, if it's always running and charging it, what I recommend is this. You either remove this section here, this whole thing over here, but then you would need to attach it and then put the dock in, which makes no sense. So what you can do instead is remove this over here from the headset, but that's a similar issue. So you can unplug it, but then that would be pointless as well. So what I recommend is pretty simple. If you see that it's fully charged, just simply move it to the side a little bit. That's it. So do that when you see that this is green, the orange light that you saw when I was turning that on. So definitely when it turns green, move the headset over to the side, so that way it's not always charging, because if it's always charging, that could be bad for your battery. At least this way it will be in rest mode anyway, and then if you ever need to let it charge, which currently I do need to keep this charged right now, you just move it over to the side a little bit, the magnet goes on and the charging light goes on as well. Again, the button here on the bottom is only for the lights. There's no on and off for the dock. It's always, the charging port is always on. But let's go over there, sit down, and let me give you guys my overall thoughts on this head strap. Alright guys, I have the headset on, as you guys can see, and this is YogesVR's head strap, the charging head strap. So overall, what I think about it is this: it's good, and honestly, not only is it good, it's actually pretty convenient as well. So I just quickly showed you guys how it's gonna work when I put it on the charging dock, Kiwi Designs charging dock. YogesVR does have their own charging dock as well, which does come with chargeable controller batteries, which looks pretty cool, and it also glows, but I think it only glows one particular color. But still, that charging dock looks really cool for YogesVR. But this works pretty well looking on Kiwi Designs charging dock as well. Now the issue is, if I'm just playing, right, a game or watching a movie, and I don't want, this here to be charged, this particular part here, because this part, as I showed, is part of Kiwi Designs, and my headset's about to die out. It's simple. All I gotta do is just take this particular part out and then just slide this part in like so, and now it's charging. I don't know if you'll be able to see it over here, but there are basically lights. Oh, I'll show it when I take it off. I should have just done that. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's charging. I will say this: apps that really drain your headset, such as Immersed. I was using Immersed on a full battery for my headset and a full battery for the charging head strap, and Immersed basically lasted like an hour and a half with just the headset, maybe even a little bit less than an hour and a half. Like, Immersed really drains the headset. So I, being the way I was, I already had this head strap on, so I did exactly what I just did. I just removed that little part that goes with that goes with the stand, plugged this part in, and it started charging immediately. And I did not need any wires. I was free to move around. I was editing a video. This particular video is something that's going to be coming out pretty soon. It's something I've been working on for a very long time. Please follow me on Twitter, because I'm going to be announcing that more over there. And I'm also going to be using this to be editing a Xenoblade video pretty soon. But yeah, this video that I'm talking about that I was editing was not Xenoblade related. But anyway, I was using Immersed for that, and it drained this head strap battery very quickly. But just as it advertises, it did give me double the time. So this particular head strap, I'll take it off in a minute, was basically able to give me another hour and a half in immersed. So it doubled the time in immersed. Using it for other apps and other games and other features is gonna change the amount that the battery life is gonna be for your Quest and for the head strap. So keep that in mind because that's true for every single head strap as well. So let me take this off and just explain this real quick. So as you can see over here, there's a button that I talked about. You can press it and, well, right now I was using this earlier, so that's why it's on low. And I just quickly put it over there to show it to you guys. But when it's full, all of these will be up. It doesn't take so long for fully charging it. Honestly, I probably should have calculated that. I didn't. It's been a long time. Don't know why I missed that part. But YogesVR says that this will give you about 2 to 3 hours extra of playtime. So basically, in other words, it's doubling your playtime because again, I use this with Immerse, which drained the headset battery super fast. But for this, it also drained it pretty quickly. But again, that's because it's a very battery consuming app. When I was watching a movie with this on, I didn't have an issue. It really did double it. And then I was still able to continue playing a game. I also went on VR chat with this and was basically able to keep playing for another 2 to 3 hours as well. So yes, this does extend your battery time for about half of what the Quest 3's normal battery is. And I say that because again, YogesVR says it's 2 to 3 hours, but depending on what you're using, it's probably gonna go a lot quicker, just like with the Quest in general. So either way, it doesn't change the fact that it's going to at least double the amount of playtime. If that's an hour or 2 to 3 hours, it varies on what you're doing with the Quest, so keep that in mind. So it is pretty good. It does what it's advertising and it's not bad. Also this, I thought it was going to be so much worse because again, I complained about this earlier. This is the thing I complained about the most because I really love how it is with Kiwi's designs. But honestly, this works. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be on the head. So I'm letting this slide, to be honest, because this did work pretty well. This as well, I thought it was fine. The charging mechanism itself is pretty simple, pretty easy to use. And I'll get into the milliamp hours pretty soon. I just wanted to say, so my biggest complaint in the end wasn't even the strap. My biggest complaint really was over here, because this is very hard plastic and it's very rough. And if I remember how plastics works, because I did mention this earlier in the video where I wasn't remembering this particular thing, I think the more brittle the plastic is, or the more rough it is, the easier it is to break. But they basically tested it for I think over 10,000 bends or something like that, and it works. So even though it's very rough, it shouldn't break on you. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, when I compared it, it's definitely a lot rougher than Kiwi designs, but it shouldn't break on you, so keep that in mind. So it should be fine. Now, as for the particular, sorry, it's so late right now. I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say. Right, now I remember. So my biggest issue in the end ended up being how thick, not how thick, but how rigid this whole section is with the way that I like the headset to be positioned and how it best fits my face or my head. And I had complained about that earlier, not complained, but made a comment about it with Kiwi Designs. You got these things here. So a lot of times I'm able to like position it so it's at least like at a little bit of an angle when I'm putting it on my head. You know, with this here, I've had this for about a week and a half now, maybe almost 2 weeks, and I'm just really, I keep trying to do that, but since there is no hinge here, you can't. And I think that that's also one of my complaints with the regular MetaQuest replacement head strap. I don't have that. My friend does, and I tried it on his as well, like the Meta one, and I'm just like, So this is that same issue for me. It is the fact that it does not have the little hinge, because it makes it harder for me to adjust it when it's on my head, and then it's not as easy to get it in the position that I want. So for example, if I'm gonna put this on right now, normally what I would do is I would go like this and I would start like positioning it, but I can't because it does not have that hinge. So like I'll keep this up over here and then like position it with the hinge. Since this does not have the hinge, I'm basically moving the entire section over here, and that is a little bit harder to do, I think. But yeah, so now I kind of have to put this in all the way down first and then slide this down. So it's definitely a slight adjustment issue. And then the worst part for me is when it's like this. Normally I would just be able to adjust the headset a little bit forward by just moving the hinges a little bit. Since this one doesn't have that, I have to like move it down a little bit. The whole entire back goes up and then it kind of stays there. It works. It's just not for my preference. I do think that having the little hinge here is a lot better, but you are able to finesse it to make it work. And I say finesse, but I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm just saying like to adjust it, it's not as like convenient as having that little section where it, the hinge. You really just gotta play around with it more. But as you guys can see, I'm able to put it on and off pretty easily, not really having any issues. It stays on pretty comfortably as well, just like the Kiwi Designs one. So yeah, in terms of milliamp hours, so this headset goes for $60. And I also looked up YogesVR's headset or head strap, which I don't have, and they're charging one, the Hollow one, or Halo one, and also Kiwi Designs. Again, I love Kiwi Design, trust me, but this is a really good value. And I say that because all three of them, this one, Kiwi Designs, and YogesVR's, their charging head straps are all $60 by default. Of course, there's always sales, promotions, affiliate links, all of that you can always get from people. But YogesVR is 5,200 milliamp hours, and this YogesVR, it is 6,000 milliamp hours for the battery. Yes, Kiwi Designs is 6,400 milliamp hours. However, it's not on sale. I mean, it is a little bit right now. I think it's like $52, but still a little bit more expensive than this. Especially because if you guys do want YogesVR, I do have an affiliate link with them on Amazon, and that link is in the description below, and it will save you guys an additional 10% off of this. So not only is this more battery than what the YogesVR is, and yes, it is a little bit less than Kiwi's Design, but it's going to be cheaper than Kiwi's Design, especially if you use the 10% discount that I have. So that's definitely going to save you guys a bit. Honestly, it's worth it. It's the cheapest option for a good amount of battery, 6,000 milliamp hours. It doubles your life of the battery for your head strap, and it works out. And honestly, even though I had some complaints with this particular section and the roughness of this, it works. There's really no reason to complain too much about this. It's really good. So again, if you guys want to save some money, go with this cheaper option. It is $60 by default, but you can save 10% by clicking on my affiliate link in the description below. In the description below, I'll also be including my Kiwi Design charging dock stand for the Quest 3 unboxing review, and also my Kiwi Design regular head strap unboxing review. So this was a bit long. I did want to give a full in-depth review. This is out now. I'm posting this soon after the 22nd, or yeah, 23rd, I believe is when it comes out. So you guys can go and just take a look at this. It will help out the channel, and it will give you guys an option that is cheaper and a good balance between everything else too, using my affiliate link. I'm being honest here, I'm really impressed with this. I really did not need to use my longer wire when I was playing with this. Other than that particular session that I was using it extensively with Immersed, because I was editing for almost 4 hours straight. So yes, that also for all of you, if you guys see my Kiwi design one, the stock head strap for the Quest 3, I could not stay more than 40 minutes. But yeah, I was able to stay 4 hours straight with this on. Yeah, so part of that, I did need to have my long, charging wire, because then by that point, this also died, because again, Immerse drains the battery like crazy. But other than that instance, I did not need to use any other charging things to keep this charged. And honestly, I think it's worth it, guys. Go take a look at YogesVR. They're releasing a lot of cool things. I really thank YogesVR for reaching out for me, wanting to sponsor this video. That means a lot to me, honestly. So yeah, just thank you guys so much for that. And yeah, I'm just being honest. This is really, really a good product. I do think that you guys should take a look at this. But with all that said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have, as I mentioned, a very, very special big project coming out pretty soon. I'm very, very excited for this. So please follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is in the link in the description below as well. I'm going to be uploading and tweeting a lot about this project in the next few weeks. It's something that means a lot to me. This particular channel, yes, I have a few VR stuff, I have a few video game stuff, I have a few unboxings on movies, a few reviews on movies. The point of this channel is for things that I'm passionate about that is related to the arts. And that would be, anything from movies, music, video game, technology, all of these things that I see revolves around arts. And you're probably thinking, well, what does VR have to do with arts? Well, it's the video game aspect of it, and it's the virtual reality, the virtual world, the things that people create with all of that I love, because it's so immersive and it's so cool, it's so different. So that's why I talk about that here as well. But the channel is focused on the things of arts that I'm passionate on. Yes, I'll do a few videos here and there unrelated to the arts, but that's what this is. And all of these videos in between, all of these unboxings, all of these reviews for movies, video games, all of these things, they are basically, even this as well, VR stuff or video game stuff, is basically in between stuff for when I'm working on more bigger serious projects, such as my analysis for stuff, such as my whole Xenoblade analysis, some documentaries, and some other private works. Like I've done a few music videos as well. So for my production of things, things that take a lot more time related to the art. So that's what the channel is for. And I'm giving that disclaimer here, and just because I am talking about this thing that I'm about to be releasing pretty soon. And this thing that I'm about to be releasing soon is a very, very big thing. I don't want to say too much, but it is something that I've been working on for a very, very long time. And it is basically, think about the main event of what the channel is really about. The full-on arts with my productions and things that is a little bit more complicated than me just writing a script and editing, a bunch of pictures and clips together. So I hope you guys watch that, because I put a lot of work into this. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Everything that you guys need is in the link in the description below. So yeah, thank you YogesVR for sponsoring this video, guys. Check out YogesVR's Quest 3 charging head strap, because it's awesome. Honestly, I really like it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. With all of that said, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.